it was like a group of stores. We called it the Village Green. Village Green. All the kids just hung out at the pizza place, and anybody came along with some extra change. Hey, buy me a soda, you know. Give me a slice of pie.
Do you remember this? Going to hit up here. 57. Do you remember first hearing Jailhouse Rock?
I remember that my sister had the record. She used to go to these parties, and they'd carry the 45s in a little box.
Always had a dancing couple on the side.
Yeah,
right?
a girl with a ponytail, right? That's it. You got it. White socks and the shoes and the skirt and
that's right.
Rockahula, it would say on the sides. I love boys.
And a few notes,
right?
Sort of shooting off into the distance.
Right, that's it. You know, and a guitar that didn't look like a guitar. And she had a lot of those records, and that's when I first heard Jailhouse Rock. I think she had a pajama party or something, and all her friends sat around. They were mooning over Elvis Presley. And I was pretty young, 57. I was only 7 years old, I think.
But it made an impression.
Yeah, I liked it. This guy's hot, whoever he is. I like him.
Okay, let's hear it again. And I mean, the thing about all these records is, right, although you've heard them a million times, right, you never get tired of hearing Jailhouse Rock and the rest of them, do you?
I don't think I ever will. I hope I don't.
Here it comes. Right, from Jailhouse Rock, 1957, move on a few years here. And Elvis, to all of us, was what we wanted to be. I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit older than you, but it was Elvis you wanted to be, right? Looked perfect, sounded right, and you could just imagine the lifestyle, right? The pink Cadillac and the girls, and wow, what a time he's having. You wanted to be this guy. He was the first rebel, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
And so you move to this one, which is a song that I could always identify with, and I'm sure a million other kids could. He's a rebel.
Yeah, I think when I was a kid at that age, every guy liked to think that he was a rebel. And this is a girl group, I think it's the Crystals, singing it. And every guy liked to think that the girls were singing that song just about him.
That's right, with the jacket and the hair and
right.
Mooching around and to hell with the parents.
Right, he's the James Dean, right.
That's right. And this was the first Phillies record that made #1 for Spectre. Right, Crystals. First one on his label that made #1. And it's actually Darlene Love singing lead on this. So,
oh, well, you know your stuff.
Spectre fans. But anyway, it was the 4th Crystals single, the biggie, and really set him off on the road to fame and fortune. Here we go. 1962 it was, the Crystals, and he's a rebel. So we'll stick with 62 and Ray Charles. And that was the year he went through this amazing change, right? He was an R&B gospel soul singer, and he suddenly started singing these country songs about that year. So, I mean, did you listen to Ray Charles? Had you listened to him up until that time? Or?
I knew a little bit about him. I knew some of the blues stuff. It was, at that time in the States, it was called race music. Blues. It wasn't really... You didn't hear a lot on white radio stations. But if you knew jazz musicians, they'd always have a few Ray Charles records laying around. And when he made this switch to country singing, all of a sudden Ray Charles kind of became okay to play on a lot of radio stations. And he was still singing in his blues voice, but he was doing country melodies, and it was a revelation for a lot of people. And I think this is one of his best vocal performances on this record. And I think most people who sing, white people who sing, always deep down really wanted to be Ray Charles in their voice. You know, vocally, they always wanted to sing like Ray Charles.
Have you tried to sing like Ray
I do
Charles?
it all the time. I end up sounding like Steve Winwood.
Okay, here's the real thing. 1962 from that Modern Sounds of Country and Western LP, Ray Charles and You Don't Know Me.
What a good holiday I've had this year. Too good. I think I'll try that smart new health and dance club, Sundance Studios in Hammersmith. I've heard the place is positively groaning with hunky men, and there's a restaurant, a sauna and solarium, and a very handy creche. Apparently, Sundance has a full gymnasium too.
Everything you've heard about Sundance is true. Look us up in Galena Road, Hammersmith, or call 01741 8536.
I never thought I'd see America. Then I discovered Pan Am Fly Drive. It was a fantastic holiday for the family. Terrific value, too. Car hire was from around £25 a week in Florida with unlimited mileage. And a hotel room for the four of us was about £21 a night. And the places we saw. Incredible. With Pan Am, you can go just about anywhere in the States. New York, California, Florida. Well, you just have to look at their Fly Drive brochure. There's no better way to see America.
For more details on Pan Am Fly Drive holidays, get a copy of the latest brochure. See your travel agent or call 01388 1122 now.
You can't beat the experience.
Right, welcome back. It's Jukebox Saturday Night. My guest is Billy Joel this week. And going down this list, of course, you've chosen a lot of people who are great lyricists. And you get to Smokey Robinson, who was, I mean, number one, the tops.
Mm-hmm.
And some songs that he wrote, and the lyrics to this song, My Girl, The Temptations. I mean, do you pick up on this because of the words, because you listen to it and you think, geez, listen to that, I wish I'd written that?
It's a real happy song, you know, and, teenage love, I got sunshine, you know, just a good summertime song. I think it was out in the summertime, I'm pretty sure, and everybody was walking around singing it. And it's just such a, good groove, those old Temptations records.
And Motown generally, were you a big Motown fan?
Oh, yeah. Smokey and the Miracles and the Temps, Four Tops.
Martha and the Vandellas.
Martha, right.
And the Stevie Wonder stuff.
Right, Supremes. They just kept coming out with these great records, one after the other. And you could buy those anthologies with the blue cover, I think. The Supremes, the best of the Supremes, best of the Temptations, and everybody played them at parties. It was great dance songs, too.
All right, here we go. 1965, My Girl. Right, 1965 for that one, and we're staying 65 for this one. And there's, this was the most exciting time. I don't care what anybody says. People say, oh, you're being nostalgic and you're looking back on your youth. But it was you've talked about the Motown records and the Spectre records. And then we talk about what was coming out of England at that time. I mean, all that together, it was just almost too much to take in, wasn't it, at that period?
Well, over in the States, it really was an invasion. I mean, it was an English invasion. It was Jerry and the Pacemakers and the Dave Clark Five and the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and the Searchers and the Kinks and the Zombies and I've got more of an education of what different labels were in those days. There were some great corny labels. And the Animals, it just seemed like it never ended. Like, where did all these people come from? It's such a tiny island. And there was a great acceptance in those days of it. Everybody's ears were wide open.
You've gone for the last time here for the Stones, which was the first one that they actually wrote, Rick and Keith, that they actually wrote.
Was it?
They actually stole it from a gospel song, but it was the first one they had there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Credits underneath. Just because it's the most exciting?
It just seems to sum up what the Stones were for me at the time. I think everybody who had a band played the last time, and everybody was trying to do Mick Jagger, and every band had a front man, and the guitarist could kind of pick out that line, doodle-dee, 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 and the lead man could rap a tambourine, because there's something to do with your hands. Thank you, I can play the tambourine. And we had fun doing this song, and still to this day at Soundcheck we do this song. Every musician knows it.
And it was also the rebel thing as well. I mean, going back to Presley, it was also the Stones were the anti-establishment rebels, weren't they?
Yeah, right.
So there was all that as well as the terrific records. 65 again, though. Here we go, the last time of the Rolling Stones. Now, when we did one of these Jukebox Saturday nights with Pete Townsend a while back, that was the Stones track that he chose.
Oh, really?
Right out of all, that was the one he chose, which was a hit at exactly the same time as I Can't Explain. Right, the last time was in the charts here, so was Can't Explain. He said, yeah, he remembered being on Top of the Pops with the Stones and actually seeing them in the flesh for the first time while they were doing the TV show together. But Pete Townsend is another lyricist. I mean, did you pick it because of words or just a tremendously exciting record?
It's an exciting record, but he's also a good musician, Pete Townsend. It's a simple 4-chord progression, but the way it's done is really neat. Dun, 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 really concise, and it's just very exciting. Those 4 chords, the way they were done, I don't know what it was Keith Moon, the way he was, crashing those drums, or Daltrey, the way he was screaming that thing, and that was another song that every group had to learn.
1965 then, The Who and Come Explain. Right, welcome back. Jukebox Saturday Night. My guest is Billy Joel. Now, tell me about Otis Redding.
I'm always a fan of what I call soul singers. They call it R&B now, or reggae or disco, whatever it was. But I liked Otis Redding. I liked Wilson Pickett, Sam Cooke, Benny King. Really great black soul singers. And I don't know when they stopped calling them soul singers. Maybe they just went away. I think Al Green was the last great soul singer.
Sure.
But they just, they sounded like they were crying and screaming and saying hallelujah to God, at the same time. And a lot of emotion wrapped up in just a little bit of time. And I think Otis Redding did it better than any of them.
1966 then, Otis Redding and Try a Little Tenderness. Right, it was Otis Redding and Try a Little Tenderness, 1966. What a record. And The Beatles. Now, how do you pick The Beatles track here? This was supposedly a Beatles B-side, although they never really did B-sides, did they? I mean, you just went to that one as quickly as you did the A-side.
This just happens to be the one I picked today, because I can't pick one Beatles song. That's my favorite song. It changes from day to day. But when John was killed, it really hit me, hard, and a lot of people. And that particular song seemed to sum up for me a lot of John's imagery and angriness and funniness and musicality. And the Beatles and all their splendor in that particular period, it just seems to be wrapped up in that one track.
1967, the Beatles, I'm the Walrus.
The Nutcracker, an enchanting evening of ballet with the London Festival Ballet now at the Royal Festival Hall. Tickets at most prices are still available for the final evening performances on Monday to Wednesday, January the 10th to the 12th. So come and see Ronald Hines' production of The Nutcracker, London Festival Ballet at the Royal Festival Hall. Ring the box office on 01 928 3191. That's 928 3191.
Well, the Med's all right. Lovely weather, great atmosphere, beautiful beaches, marvellous food. What gets a lot of people is a funny money and no one speaking English. That's why so many people gone to Gibraltar this year. It's Mediterranean and it's British, and there's plenty to do if you get bored with the beaches. The shopping is superb, it's got a history. You can even slip over to Tangiers for the day. Ask your travel agent about the Rock of Gibraltar, or ring 01388 1122. That's 388 1122. It's Mediterranean and it's British.
Right, it's Jukebox Saturday Night. My guest this week is Billy Joel, and we're going to practically jump 10 years here from I Am the Walrus and practically leap right over the 70s. Any particular reason, or is it just because we haven't got any room to fit in 70s records?
I could think of a whole lot of them, but within the limited space we have, I couldn't possibly put down all the records I liked. It would take days, just days and days.
Right, so Elvis Costello, big fan have you been?
I like him. I think he's real good. I think he's a real, what we call a wise ass.
Again, because of the lyrics and the words.
And the music is good, too. A lot of, the press will pick up on lyrics, but you really can't describe a melody, and I think his music has been overlooked. It's a really good piece he wrote there.
Oh, Oliver's Army.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Elvis Costello. Right, from Elvis to Squeeze, and there's a connection there because Elvis has produced Squeeze records, and they've been on each other's records. And I mean, again, you get Difford and Tilbrook writing great words, and I do listen to their words. They're the first things you listen to.
Good imagery.
Yeah.
But good music again, too. I mean, they're a group that's not afraid to stand up and go, we're a pop group. And I don't think that's a bad word.
Yeah, that's right. Short little songs,
right?
Pop songs, but they're real soap opera things, aren't they? And real dramas and real life stories.
And they jump out at you on the radio, I must tell you, and it sounds good on a jukebox.
Okay, here they come. Squeeze, pulling muscles from a shark. Right, and from Squeeze to the final one, and very recent stuff this, Kim Carnes, Betty Davis Eyes. Why did you like this one especially?
This is a record, every time it comes on, no matter where you are, people just jump off the bar stools and everybody just throws their hands up in the air and goes, woo! When they hear it, it's just a great, wonderful record. You know, it's like something I had to have a fix of. I had to hear it over and over and over again. I never got tired of it.
Okay, Kim Carnes, Betty Davis Eyes. Jukebox Saturday night, my guest was Billy Joel. Thank you very much for wandering through. I'm sure you could do another 10 volumes of this. You go through the rest of the jukebox.
Oh, definitely. I'm going to go home and go over some new ones again.
Great. Thank you very much indeed.
Jukebox Saturday Night was devised and produced by John Pigeon. My guest next Saturday is Richard Scott from Rough Trade Records. Coming up after the news, it's Richard Digance and Friends.
London Home Computer Show's on the 7th, 8th and 9th of January.